guys, welcome back to today's video. So before we get into anything, make sure you guys are subscribed to my channel. It'll be the first link down below in my description box, or you can just hit that red subscribe button, and make sure you have notification bell turned on. Every video I'm going to be shouting out one of you guys who are in my hashtag notification squad. Today's shout out is going to Jazz All. I will put your notification somewhere here on the screen so everyone can see. Thank you so much for having your notification bell turned on. You are awesome. So today is going to be another installment in my dupe or duped series. That is where I take a palette that is a dupe for a more expensive palette and kind of compare the two. So today's dupe is super exciting, and I'm really pumped to show you guys. I have here the Bad Habit Retro Love palette from Shop Hush, and they were kind enough to send this palette to me. So here is what it looks like. You guys, it's crazy. I feel like I totally don't even have an intro anymore. So if you guys want to find out more about the Retro Love Bad Habit palette and how it compares to the Anastasia Subculture palette, then just keep on watching. I'm going to show you guys right now. Shop Hush actually had reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to try some of their products, and I said yes, absolutely. I had been wanting to film a video with products from their website for a while, so I was so excited. So they sent me over a couple things to try out, and one of them is the Retro Love palette from the brand Bad Habit, and I actually believe that I may be the first one to try this out, which is so exciting. So thank you so much to Shop Hush for letting me try out your new palette. So this literally just launched the other day on shophush.com, and it is only 10 bucks, you guys, and it is amazing, and it literally looks exactly like the Subculture palette. So I actually got this from Ulta. I only had to spend 8 bucks on this because I had Ulta points and I had a gift card. Here is the infamous Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture palette, and here is the Bad Habit Retro Love palette. So do you believe how similar they look in the pan? I know, it is absolutely crazy. It is a complete dupe for Subculture. I don't know how they did this, but they did it, and the price is amazing. So like I said, this is 10 bucks. I think this might be sold out though right now, but there's always a restock on Shop Hush's website. Make sure you follow them on social media. They always like say when they're restocking stuff. So you get 14 shades in here, and each of these are 71 cents per shade, and you are getting 0.35 ounces per shade. So you are getting more per ounce per shade in the Retro Love palette. The Anastasia Subculture palette is $3 per shade, and you are getting 0.20 ounces per shade. So you are getting more in here. Packaging on Retro Love is kind of a similar blue, not completely similar to Subculture, but I mean, it's in the same type of family. The size, it is a little bit more narrow, you can see right there, than Subculture. And I actually think the packaging is really nice for 10 bucks. I really don't mind it. Subculture, I've literally already gotten this dirty, but I do like the velvet packaging on this. However, this one stays clean a bit more. And when you open it, you get a really nice mirror in here, so that's a great thing. Not exactly in all the same spot as Subculture, but I guess they did that to kind of mix it up a little bit because it was so similar. But you can totally see which shades match up in Retro Love to Subculture. They kind of took the whole 70s thing and made it into a 70s palette. So like the names are Psychedelic, Hippie, Mod, Nostalgia, Flower Power. I think this is the closest dupe that you are going to find for Subculture. I think this is actually the first dupe ever for Subculture. One eye is Subculture and one eye is the Retro Love palette. Before you guys go any further, if you can comment down below and guess which one you think is Subculture and which one you think is Retro Love. I'll look down so you guys can see a little bit better, but guess down below. I've used these on my eyes and compared the two, and I can tell you that Retro Love is pigmented, but it is nowhere near as pigmented as the Subculture palette. But I'm gonna tell you guys that is a good thing because I found this so much easier to blend and to work with. This one you do have to work a little bit harder. It's definitely for, I would say, intermediate to makeup artist level people. I don't know if a beginner is going to absolutely love this palette, whereas this is beginner friendly. So if you couldn't really work with Subculture and you thought it was difficult to blend, you are going to love this one, the Retro Love palette, because it is so much easier to blend and to work with. The colors aren't as pigmented, but they're not chalky by any means. They are still very good shades. It's like Subculture, but just like down a notch, which I think a lot of people might be interested in. By the way, these are both made in China and they are both cruelty-free brands. Some of these shades match up like identical, and some of the shades are a little bit not as identical. They're a little bit off. See in my tutorial, but Rowdy and Nostalgia, they look very similar in the pan, but on the eye, they go on a little bit differently. Most of the shades go on so similar. It's crazy. This is a really, really, really good dupe. I'm very impressed with it. I expect Retro Love to be the same pigmentation level just because this is $42 and this one is $10, so there's going to be some sort of difference, but you get all of the same colors that are in Subculture except for so much less money. So if you really like these colors that were in Subculture but you didn't really want to shell out $42 because maybe you thought they were a little bit too different, you can get this one from Bad Habit and Shop Hush, and it's not going to break your bank. You can try out these colors, and I love these colors because they challenge me to go outside of my comfort zone, what I'm used to. Like today, I am totally like not used to having these types of colors on my eyes, but I'm really feeling it because it's different. I like to be creative. I like to try different colors. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is apply my eyeshadow primer. I'm using the Jordana Made to Last eyeshadow primer, and I'm just going to put this all over my eye all the way up to my brow bone. So since there is no real shade to set the eye with, like this one right here, Peace, is too dark. Same for Dawn, it's just a bit too dark. So I'm going to just take the Wet n Wild single eyeshadow in Creme Brulee, and I'm going to use that to set my eyeshadow primer. And this is going to make the shadows blend out. So this eye is going to be my Retro Love eye, and my left eye is going to be my Subculture eye. So let's dig into these two palettes. I'm going to start out with Peace in the Retro Love palette, and I'm going to use one of the Shop Hush unicorn brushes, and I'm just going to dip in a little bit of fallout when you swirl your brush around, but you honestly don't even need to pick up too much product. Ooh, these brushes are so soft, like one of the softest brushes I've tried. And I'm just going to go back and forth with this shade in my crease just to have a transition color going on. Blending out nicely on the eye. I'm not having any sort of issues. Little color switch thing here to wipe off any excess color from this brush. Okay, so that one was a dupe supposedly for Dawn. So I'm going to take Dawn and put that into my crease and see how these two compare. I would say they definitely look very similar. I would say Subculture is a tad more pigmented, just because I think Subculture is a very pigmented palette, as everyone knows. If you were looking for a dupe, I think it would definitely suffice, the Retro Love one. I want to take a little bit of this color Fab and put that into my crease as well. I'm just using another crease brush. So going back to my Retro Love eye. Here's what the shadow looks like when you dip into it. So it's just like a normal amount of fallout. Just going back and forth in my crease with this color. Then I'm going to go into Subculture and take New Wave. So New Wave and Fab, you can see, are very close to one another. Wow, definitely super pigmented. And I'm sorry for the overuse of that word, but when you put it on the eye, you can tell. So close to Retro Love. Like the actual shade. I feel like the eyes look super similar right now. So I'm going to stamp on some translucent powder just so I can get that shape that I want, and the powder really helps with that and doesn't hurt as much as the shadow shields. So I'm kind of feeling the whole green vibe, and I want to take this shade right here, Mod, which is that like teal green color, and I want to put that all over my lids. Little flat shader brush from that same unicorn kit. Be super pigmented too, because look how much came on the brush. That's a lot. Ooh, wow. And I'm gonna save the inner corner because I want to do the electric shade. In here it's called Icon, but save the inner corner for that. I don't know if I've ever worn a green like this before on my eyes. So you definitely have to layer up this color, but it's not bad. Then I'm going to go into the Subculture palette, and I'm going to take Untamed because that is what the shade is supposed to be duping. And I'm just going to use a very similar flat shader brush and pack this on the lid. Wow, that is some color, huh? I have to be a little careful with the shade because things can go south really quickly. They are definitely super close to one another. I go back to Retro Love, and I want to take the shade Icon, which is like that shimmery duochrome green shade, and I'm gonna pop that right on this inner third. It's definitely more of a sheer color, but it's interesting. It looks really pretty on top of Mod when they kind of blend together. Then I'm gonna go into Electric, which is what that shade we just used is supposed to be duping. And I'm just gonna pop that in. Very similar. Everything, pigmentation, everything is pretty much the same with these two. I just want to go back in with a bit of New Wave to just blend everything out so these lines aren't so harsh. The same thing, I'm going to go in with Fab of it. Why I like the Retro Love palette is because it is a little less pigmented. I want to take Nostalgia and pop that in the outer corner and use the powder as a guide. Ooh, that blended out super nice. That blended out so easily. So far, I am very impressed. I'm going to go into Rowdy in the Subculture palette, which is what that shade was supposed to be a dupe for. And to just pop this in that same spot. Definitely comes off a lot stronger than Retro Love. I feel like these shades aren't exactly similar because, like, look how different my eyes look. The pigment, the color is not exactly the same. That's not to say I don't like this shade Nostalgia from Retro Love. It's just that the colors are two different colors really, but I still would use this one, and it's still a nice eyeshadow shade and it performs really well. Take a little bit of this NYX Faux Whites eyeliner pencil. This is in the shade Mint Cream. This is one of my favorites. I feel like this will look really pretty. I'm going to go ahead and brush away that powder that we put. Did its job. It cleaned up the edges really nicely and didn't give like the super crisp line, but just enough where it doesn't look so harsh, because sometimes I feel like the tape can look really harsh. And I just want to highlight my brow bone, so I'm going to go back in with Creme Brulee from Wet n Wild and just highlight that brow bone. A little bit of Peace on my lower lash line just to smoke it out. And in the outer corner, I'm going to take a little bit of Nostalgia and pop that just in the corner. Take a clean brush and dip into Dawn and do the same thing. Put that underneath my lower lash line. Take Rowdy and pop that on the outer corner. Then I'm just going to go ahead and make a wing on my eyes with my Inglot number 77 gel liner, and we're going to wing this out. So the eyes are pretty much done. Also, don't mind my left eye. It's a little bit red, because I used something and it irritated my eye. Don't mind that, but otherwise I really like the way that both of my eyes came out. So I'm gonna finish up the rest of my face, do my brows. I'll come back for highlighting because I want to test out the Shop Hush Rose Highlight Collection palette by Bad Habit, which is supposed to be a dupe for the Nicole Guerrero Glow Kit. So I will see you guys in a second. Now I want to test out this highlighter palette. So this is the Rose Highlight Collection from Bad Habit. And I'm going to use one of these unicorn brushes that I also got from Shop Hush. So pretty. It's like soft and then it's ombre. So that is gorgeous. Comparison, here you go. Very, very similar with the pink going on here. So these look super close. This is the Shop Hush Rose Highlighter Collection, and here is the Nicole Guerrero Glow Kit. So you could see that the shades are, you know, not in the same order, but they are super duper similar looking. So I want to do, let's see, Kitty Cat and Fall Day are supposed to be dupes for one another, and Forever Young and Cheers right here are supposed to be dupes. So maybe I will do Cheers. So I'm gonna put that on the same side that I have Retro Love. Ooh, that is super pretty. Definitely not as glittery as the Nicole Guerrero Glow Kit, but that's gorgeous. I dip into one of my favorite highlight shades, Forever Young. Actually, this one has a mirror, which is amazing. They're literally the same color. I don't think you can even tell the difference which is which on camera. Here's the Bad Habit one, and here is the Nicole Guerrero one. So these are definitely dupes for one another. This is crazy. I'm swatching it. It is really, really nice quality. Definitely, like I said before, not as glittery. For those of you who didn't like the glitter in here, then this is going to be an awesome alternative. This is going to be my go-to fall palette because these shades literally just scream fall to me. I like that it's different. I know some people it might be a little bit too different, but for me, because I like doing makeup, I like experimenting, for me this actually kind of draws my attention and I really like the shades in here. So that's kind of what I have to say about the comparison between these two. I do think this is a really good dupe. So I want to show you guys swatches, and I will show you what these shades look like swatch out, and then I will do this one on my other arm and compare the two so you can see them next to each other.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. What's left? The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the highways, and on we'll
hope you enjoyed this little dupe or duped review of the Bad Habit Retro Love palette and the Anastasia Subculture palette. Overall, I think this is a pretty awesome dupe. If you didn't want to shell out the money for Subculture, you were unsure about the shade range, you can try it out for only 10 bucks. I think it's totally worth it. Very impressed with the quality of these shadows, the the way they blend, the pigmentation. I really had no issues working this on my eye. Whereas with Subculture, I did have to work at blending a bit more. It was kind of more of a challenge, I would say, but I'm definitely going to continue to use Subculture, and I'm definitely going to keep on using Retro Love because I think it is a super great palette. Thank you so much to Shop Hush for sending this over to me. I have a bunch of other palettes from them that I'm going to show you guys that are really cool, so stay tuned for that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this dupe review with Retro Love and the Anastasia Subculture palette. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe down below. Turn on your notifications so you don't miss out on future videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. That is it. I will see you guys in my next one. Love you guys. Bye.